Oh, good. I'm on. Nice. Okay. Unfortunately, in the description, it wouldn't allow me to put in the full title. See, the full title is really Spiritual Attachment, My Haunted Ride. Unfortunately, I couldn't get all it in, so I put in Spiritual Attachment and then Cars. That's all I could get in, so it's good enough. Now, first of all, I just want to indicate before I start that if anybody wants to text something that's not related to the topic, or someone wants to text in something that's inappropriate or anything rude or anything that's tasteless, okay, I'm going to ignore it. But if anybody says anything really offensive, you're blocked. Okay, so I want this stream to be enjoyable, okay, for everybody. Okay. Now, now, I guess a lot of you in chat and a lot of people I know, and that you remember going back in time, back when you bought your very first car. Okay, you saved up, you sacrificed, you saved up for a very, very long time, and then finally you had enough money to buy that car, to buy that motorcycle, to buy that bicycle, whatever it was, and that you remember how much passion you had for that vehicle, okay, how much you loved it, and you would do anything to protect it. You'd baby it, and especially for those who bought their very first car, you would clean it, polish it, wax it every weekend, make it look like brand new. Some people are actually, they're so afraid of the car getting dirty, or their bikes getting dirty, that they wouldn't use it. But others, they take their car out. They'd almost treat their car like a trophy. They're so proud of it. And that after saving for such a very long time, you finally got it. Okay, and you hung on to that car, that bicycle, for years and years and years and years. And then finally, you come to the realization that you're getting up in the years, and you're not going to be on the earth plane for very much longer. So sometimes actually people put this in their will and say, okay, I bequeath my favorite car, my favorite bicycle to another family member. And that they say, okay, I want my family member to take over my bicycle, take over my car, as long as they promise to take good care of it. Okay, you remember, now, you know about that emotional attachment to that car, motorcycle, bicycle, or it could be just about anything. Okay, that you buy as a child, that you buy as a young adult, but it costs a lot of money, and so you really loved it, and then finally, for example, okay, I just bought myself my very first car. Okay, I saved for decades for it, and finally I know I've only got just a certain amount of time to live because I'm way up in the years. Who should I will my baby to? Okay, I think I'll give it to my nephew. He loves cars. Okay, this is just an example. And I said, okay, my nephew, okay, here's my car. What's the topic? The topic is spiritual attachments, my haunted ride. That's actually the topic. Now, as I was saying, that even though that original owner, he passes away, and the nephew takes over the car, or whatever it is, and that there's such a strong emotional attachment to that car, to that motorcycle, to that bicycle, whatever the item is. There's such an emotional attachment that even though you're in the spirit body, for some people, they miss their car, they miss their bicycle or whatever it is so much that they come back in visitation and they see, there's my baby and my relative is taking good care of it. I feel good about that. But I'm going to continue just to watch and make sure that they clean the car up or the bicycle up to my satisfaction, even though he can't say to his nephew and that, oh, you missed a spot, oh, that's not shiny enough. He knows he can't do that anymore, but he knows that his nephew is doing his best, and okay, I'm happy, okay? But there's some people that are so obsessed. Yep, actually, 100% right now. My team's been to so many places that, especially if it's your very first house, and let's say you pass on and a new family moves in, but they want to make changes. Now, some spirits, they don't like change. Okay? They start creating havoc because the spirit person does not like change. Just like, let's say that, again, my nephew wants to make changes to my car, and those changes I don't like. Okay? That's when the emotional attachment to the vehicle becomes almost like an obsession. And they say, okay, no, okay, you want to put on slicks, you want to put on a spoiler, and that you want to put on this, and this, flames onto the car. I don't like that. Okay, I said for you to keep the car in mint condition, but in original condition, and so that when people see the car, they see the car as to what it looked like when it was first purchased. I don't want people to see, oh, here's a great big flaming hot rod with, a great big souped-up engine and stuff like that. To me, like each person has his own taste when it comes to antique cars, souped-up cars. Oh, really? Can you put in the comments the name of the movie? I would love to see it. And that, but like I said, that some people it's an obsession, and like there's nothing wrong with a person being say, oh, you just ruined the car, you just put on the spoiler, you put on slicks, you put this, and this onto the car. I don't like that. Okay, and it's the same with bicycles. And you see, one thing I've noticed, especially today, is when kids get hold of a bicycle, okay, 9 times out of 10, it's their parents that buy it, so there's no pride in their bicycles. They misuse the bikes, they break them, they go, oh, Dad, I just did some jumps, I dented the front wheel, the bike's destroyed, go and buy me another one. There's no emotional attachment to it. It's just okay. I see. I've seen that somewhere. But yeah, I should check that out. That sounds amazing, and I should check that out. So the Possession, a 2012 movie, got it, and that. So but when it comes to kids, let's say, for example, kids that lived back in the 50s and 60s. That is a ring. Oh, okay, so it's an attachment to a ring. Okay, and jewelry, there can be an emotional attachment to that too. Oh, absolutely, and but see, back in the 50s and 60s, we looked at bicycles in a completely different way. See, back then, and children were more responsible when it comes to the things that they owned. And if they wanted a bicycle, or if they wanted a toy, especially children from low-income families, where they had just enough money to survive, but not to go buy their kid a brand new bicycle. Like, give me a break. But if the child saved for years and years and years, let's say they took their allowance and they kept saving, okay? And they finally got enough money to buy that bike. Like, it's not a really souped up, really high-tech bicycle. It's just an ordinary coaster. Like, nothing special about it. But because the child saved for so long that bicycle, that they took real pride in it. They thought, okay, that's my baby. It's only a bicycle, but that's my baby. I saved up for so many years for this thing. I'm going to take good care of it. I'm going to clean it, wax it, oil it. Okay? My wife's a perfect example. The bicycle that she has, she bought it and when she was very, very young, and she still has it. I keep it maintained because I'm a mechanic, and that I keep it maintained. You know, sure, it's old, but hey, it's still a good bicycle. And I know that for people that pass on and they say, okay, I'm about ready to pass on. I want to bequeath my bicycle to one of my niece or my nephew, under the condition that they take good care of it. Okay, if they don't want to take good care of it, I'll give it to charity. I'll give it to someone else. I want the person that's receiving the bicycle to take very good care of that bicycle, and no matter what. Okay, they're to clean it, oil it, wax it, take good care of it. Don't let it set out all year, especially if it's in an area where it rains and snows. Take the bicycle in, like baby it basically. And that. Is there a Mother Teresa hanging on the wall? Nope. Nah. Well, actually, if you're referring to that the wooden plaque thing there, it says, "And the two shall become one." And that. Hey, no problem at all. Hey, good eye. Yeah, I'm quite impressed. Yeah, that's not your bad at all. But anyway, like I said, like a lot of you should be able to relate to what I'm talking about when it comes to stuff that you bought as a child that you had to buy yourself because no one else would buy it for you because it cost so much. But you saved and saved and saved, even if it was jewelry, if it was clothing, whatever it was. And that eventually, I know you don't want to get rid of it because you loved it so much that you want to give it to someone else that will enjoy it after your days have gone. And for some people, stupid computer. And for some bad people, they have such a strong emotional attachment to something that they say, no, I want to make sure that what I bought as a child is that person is taking good care of my car, bicycle, motorcycle, jewelry, whatever it is, and house. That I want to make sure they're taking good care of it, they're not neglecting it, and if they know that they're not going to do that, okay, then think, okay, well, my relatives are honoring my wishes, I can cross over, and that. But there are some people who are so obsessive, and they don't like change, that they stick around, but unfortunately, they say, oh, I don't like what you're doing to my car, I don't like what you're doing to my bicycle, I definitely don't like what you're doing to my house, and that I'm going to raise havoc until you stop. Okay? Some of the times, not all the time, some of the times, that's what you get when it comes to a haunted house, is they throw stuff around to scare you off, say, okay, that's enough, you've done enough damage as it is. Even though the owners now are trying to make the place better, they're trying to more modernize it. Unfortunately, the spirit people, the original owners, don't see it that way. So sometimes what they actually have to do is they have to bring in a medium so that they can make some kind of a compromise. Okay? If you can stop pestering this family will honor some of your wishes. Okay? If you can come to a compromise, okay, that the house will be taken good care of, more modernized, And the spirit person says, okay, well, I don't mind the odd little change. As long as they take good care of the house, okay, well then, that's fine. We'll move on. And if they do move on, chances are they will come back, but in visitation, there won't be any harsh attachments. There'll still be the love for the house, but they'll have to, as the old saying goes, let it go. And that can go for anything. And that, so, because I know that I've seen quite a few items with, so far, like for me, it's rare to come across anything that has a spirit attachment, that the spirit person is there, present. Okay, that's rare. Usually if I touch a car, an antique car, and I get mental images of when they first bought the car, or I get the feeling of pride, okay, that's the emotional attachment, okay, or residual energy, okay, memory energy. And that doesn't mean that the spirit person's around, it's just that they had happy memories, and it's just their memory that's lingering, and that's what the medium looks into. And that, like I said, images as I'm buying it, the sense of pride, the sense of love for that item, but that's all there is. Okay, there's no interaction with the spirit person, and that it's just residual energy, memory energy. That's all there is. Oh yeah, I've seen every poltergeist movie. And then there's actually quite a few really good paranormal movies. There's I don't know if there's one that I really enjoyed, and that is I don't know if you've ever seen the movie A Haunting in Connecticut, and that was good, and there's one that I think is more fictitious, and exactly, I mean, like two mirrors? Yeah, that'll open a portal, for sure. So never have two mirrors facing each other. And there's another one that I actually have it, I think on DVD, I think, that it's called The Haunting of Marston Manor. And it's fictitious, okay, but it does have a kind of a cool story to it. So if you ever get a chance to see that movie, The Haunting of Marston Manor, and I tell you, there are so many movies, haunting of this, haunting of that. Yeah, so have I. And and the other one was, there's a lot of controversy about it, but still, it's a good movie, and that is the Amityville Horror. And that's another one that is all allegedly based on a true story, and the couple that did the investigation, Ed and Lorraine Warren, and that I knew of them. I never met them, but I knew of them. They were absolutely amazing, and that I forgot that I've seen that. Annabelle. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about that too. Like there's actually two different stories to that, but I still believe that it was a demon that was in the doll, not a little girl. I think the demon was lying, and that. But that Annabelle doll. And by the way, it's a Raggedy Ann, not that ugly thing in the movie. And that is that the Warrens, the Ed and Lorraine Warrens occult museum is where the original Amityville horror doll is, or the Annabelle. Amityville. The original Annabelle is encased, and I like the sign that they put on the glass door. Positively do not open. That's good wording. And but I tell you, what comes to the Raggedy Ann doll, but I think the reason why they changed the doll for the movie is because the Raggedy Ann doll looks so innocent, where the one that they're using in the movie looks more creepy. To me, it looks creepy. And it's being blessed and protected because the demon is encased in the doll, and the doll is encased in the glass. So at least it's encased. and that, but it still causes havoc, but very little, like nothing major. Thank God. But and a good friend of mine, my boss from the SWYPT team, Southwest Yorkshire Paranormal team, and that, well, he's got a collection of haunted dolls from different eras and different places, and that he's got a whole selection of haunted dolls, and that, and I always find the ones that look the most innocent are the ones that are the worst. Like one little doll, no bigger than that, causes absolute havoc. We think there's a dark energy inside of it. Where other ones, I think there's 2 or 3 dolls that have a little girl attached, and there's one that's linked to a Holocaust, to the Jewish Holocaust, and that. So, but let's just go through my. There is also a boy doll who was real. Oh yeah. Robert the doll. Yeah, that was owned by Otto something. I can't remember his last name. His first name was Otto, and he died in the attic or something like that, and his soul went into the doll or something. But yeah, it's in a museum as well. I don't know if it's in Georgia or where it is, but that's all. I don't know. I always get a queasy feeling when I look at the doll and that, but I can't say. Well, it's hard to say if it's evil or not, but it definitely gives me the creeps. Little sailor guy. Yeah. Actually, Robert the doll, isn't he dressed up a little bit like a sailor or something like that? And he's still creepy. And that's so, but, oh yeah. But, yeah, there's some pretty good movies coming out. So, one thing that, when it comes to a lot of these movies that come out, and that with dolls with attachments on them, and that is, it was based on a true story. Okay, those are the movies that I'm drawn to, that I like, is the ones that are based on a true story. But the ones that are fictitious, they're okay. They're entertaining. But the ones that are based on a true story, for me, are more educational, rather than just, educational. They're just entertainment, the fictitious ones. But the real ones, the ones that are based on a true story, those are the ones I like them, but I also learn a lot from them. But the one thing I like to do, hopefully before I see the movie, is to research a little bit about the movie itself, and not the location, but the people that were involved. If I can research that a little bit. Oh, Christine, that old car. Yeah, did you know when Christine first came out, a lot of people didn't really know what to expect, but it was a hit. A lot of people, and in fact, I even heard some people loved the movie so much that they wanted to buy that exact same car, because they were convinced that if you bought that kind of car, that the car that they bought, and that would be haunted as well for some reason. And that, but I think there must have been a pretty big demand for those cars back then. But that was a lovely car. It was really cool. And by the way, I just saw a video on YouTube, believe it or not, about the making of that movie, Christine, and how they did it. And so yeah, it's it's a good movie and that, but but I still fell in love with the car. It was a classic. So anyway, people, I better get going, and I got stuff to do, got shopping to do. So I'll be doing my stream again next week. I don't know what the topic is. I haven't got it from my guide yet. And yeah, and something. Vogue the Dark Arts OB or something. Yeah, I have time pronouncing your name. But anyway, how about and then how about another movie of Christine, like Christine 2? How's that sound? That'd be pretty cool. I love quick. Oh, Owen. Okay, Owen. Yeah, I'm Brian. Yeah. 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 How about Christine 2? And that. Yeah, they call it Christine 2. The Backfire. I don't know. But I can't even think of a good catch title. Anyway, my friend, and that I hope Owen, I hope you're on next Friday, and cause I love it when you're on. You know, you've been absolutely amazing with your questions and that. You've been absolutely amazing. So yeah, I would definitely be cool if you were on again next week, and that. Oh yes, beautiful. And because believe it or not, Owen, I can learn from you. And it'd be pretty amazing. And so, anyway, Owen, good chatting with you. Yep. And I really appreciate your input. You've been brilliant. And so, anyway, I better go on. So, everybody in chat, bless you. Thank you for joining me. And I'll be on again next week. Okay? So, Owen, take good care of yourself.